Hi, I'm Jaya McMillan.
And I'm Drew Fox. And you're watching the Saints News Network. In this week's headlines, boys and girls soccer compete for state titles.
St. Andrew's Speech and Debate continues their successful streak.
And our first snowball game is going on.
Make your school proud. Make your parents proud. Make yourself proud.
This past weekend, Speech and Debate was named the best overall team at the Magnolia Forensic League Congress qualifier, and senior Ishan Bott placed second at the Barkley Forum. This competition kicked off Mississippi's qualification season for nationals.
Khalil Jackson, Bane McHale, Caleb Cassidy, Christopher Wade, Amy Zhang, and Anna Jobert advanced to their respective super sessions, with Jackson, McHale, and Wade punching their tickets for the NSDA Nationals this June in Dallas by taking 3 of the 6 house slots for the Magnolia District.
Congratulations and good luck, Speech and Debate, in the coming weeks.
Our Peruvian guests have come and gone, but the memories and friendships were made by all. Explored the geography, history, and culture of our state and of the South. They also visited classes in all 3 divisions.
The Global Studies program appreciates the host students for their families and for being so welcoming and inviting our Peruvian guests into their homes.
Finally, on January 26th, Miss Chadwick crowned St. Andrew's first Snowball King, Bradley Brantley.
The court included freshmen Dami Awatade, Cooper Word, sophomores Byron Bishop, Dallas Ford, and Rand Raju, juniors Aaron Cooper, Arnez Georgetown, Samir Khan, and Hayes Wakecaster, and lastly, seniors Charlie Blunt, Bradley Brantley, David Cattle, Ian Espy, and AJ LaFleur.
And now to sports news. This past week, the Saints soccer teams won the North State Championship titles. On Tuesday, the boys defeated the St. Joe Bruins, and the girls defeated the Choctaw Central Warriors. Both teams advanced to the state championship games this past Saturday at Brandon High School.
Both games were scoreless at halftime, but that would change in the second half. Despite great defensive efforts from both teams, the Saints were unable to come away with the wins. The girls dropped the game 2-0, and even with many saves from goalie Shasheen Tipnis, the boys fell 1-0 on a penalty kick. Both teams will look to rebound next year as they return most of their starters. Now for our school news feature. On January 31st, St. Andrews hosted Mississippi's author Kiese Lehman, a professor at Ole Miss and author of Heavy, an American memoir.
His memoir was named one of the best nonfiction books for 2018 by the New York Times and won the Andrew Carnegie Medal for Nonfiction.
Students listened to Lehman's reading in the CPA, and many got to have one-on-one conversations with him in various classrooms. Some appreciated Lehman's readings of his novel, while others were left with some questions.
His new book, Heavy, talks about how racism is still a current issue and how one act cannot end prejudices. It's also really great to hear him read his book aloud to understand how it's actually supposed to be read.
I just think, man, like think about the generations of black people, we just had to endure a lot. But what I hear your question really getting at is like, in that endurance, we have created like things that are like absolutely beautiful, absolutely liberatory. And sometimes it seems like we choose to focus on the lack of beauty as opposed to focusing on like the liberatory stuff.
It's not often that someone comes to a high school and speaks truthfully about what they think and their experiences, so that was nice to see.
I'm just going to read. I don't care if I'm at St. Andrews or not. I got to read.
I think you could also argue that we have tried very hard to cultivate a culture of respect here, and that includes a respect for language. And it's not that students have not heard vulgarity before, but the F word in particular is so ubiquitous that I'm not even sure it really means anything or added anything particular to the presentation to include it. And he asked for respect for his culture, and I don't think it would be a bad thing to ask speakers to respect our culture.
What a privilege to have an author who brought so much good conversation to our community.
Now for our Saints in Spotlight feature. Have you ever wondered if your teacher had a pet? Well, today you will find out a little about your teacher's furry companions.
His name is Nicholas. Mm-hmm. He will be 14 years old this spring.
So we have 2 dogs, 2 Boston Terriers, a really old cat, and actually 32 spiders and other arachnids.
Okay, so it's Goldfish, and Goldfish's name is Rebecca.
He is intelligent. He is loving on most occasions. And he also has a very distinct personality, which he is displaying right now.
Do you have any funny stories that you could tell us?
Oh, yes. How much time do you have?
Oh.
Boo Boo especially likes to lick things. He will bark until he gets to lick whatever he wants to lick, such as feet or the couch or pillows on the couch.
First of all, I found him outside. Excuse me. I found him outside when he was about 2 or 3 months old in the breezeway of my apartment building, and that's how Nicholas came to be part of my family. And then when he was 3 years old, he thought it would be great to try hunting birds as they flew past my apartment balcony. Unfortunately, he miscalculated, and the birds flew by, and Nicholas flew off the balcony and right down onto the ground, and a day later he returned.
So pretty much everyone who comes into my office makes a comment about the fish. I think because she's pretty large for a goldfish.
It's been nice getting to know Nicholas, and thanks for the interview, Dr. Foley.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, David. I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't know about you, but Dr. Foley's cat was definitely my favorite. That's all for today.
Meow.
Thanks for watching the Saints News Network.